This is your boy Amos, and this is Life in Embo. So welcome to the channel, everyone. I know it's kind of been a long time coming. I've been busy. I've been making videos, but I haven't made an official video for this channel, introducing myself to everyone here in South Africa. So, welcome South Africa, welcome Africa. I want to say welcome to the United States, welcome to the channel, welcome to Life in Embo. As you can see, I can't stop smiling. I can't stop cheesing right now because, man, I'm just happy. I'm happy to be on this journey. I'm happy to introduce myself, finally, really introduce myself. Not just posting videos and like, who is this guy? It's exciting times. I'm happy to be here. So, let's cut to it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what Life in Embo is about. What is this channel about? All right, and what can you expect from me here and going on? I gotta stop smiling. It's hard to record a video and you just keep smiling, but I guess I'm just feeling good today. All right, so I just want to talk about what Life in Embo is about. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you expect from this channel going forward in the future? What are a lot of different things I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be vlogging. I'm going to be showing. So let's get into it. Let's talk about first. Let's talk about what brought me here to South Africa, because I want to talk about my first impressions of South Africa, but what brought me here to the continent in general. So what brings me to South Africa? So what month? Oh, I'm recording something. Video? Yes, sir. All right, so what brings me here to Africa? Because that's like one of the questions that a lot of people ask me when I'm when I'm out here, like when I'm just gas station, at the mall, shopping. A lot of people want to know, like, hey, what brings you here? Like, why are you here? Like, why come here? You know what I'm saying? And even when I was coming here, a lot of people back home was like, used to be like, why are you going to Africa? What's out there? Like, why do you want to go there? Like, everybody's so shocked. So what brings me here to Africa? Like, what inspired and started this journey that I'm on today? So to try to make a long story short, which might end up being a short story long, this kind of started when I was a young boy, when I was a child. When I was going to school, elementary school to be exact, which is, I don't know what they call it here in South Africa, but it's like grade school or whatever. I probably was like 7 years old. That's when we first started to learn about slavery. And, this was history class, of course. And they talked about how we came off this big continent, like right in the middle of the map, because they, in school life, they used to have the map up. So they showed us this big continent in the middle of the map, and they said, this is where, we come from. This is where we were stolen from, and we was brought to like the Caribbean islands, which is where my parents are from. And they brought us into the Americas, and that's where we worked as slaves, for the slave masters, and my peoples, being from the island of Haiti or IET, we actually was the first country in the Western Hemisphere to free ourselves from slavery after we defeated Napoleon's army off the island. Which a lot of people here don't even know about that, and I understand why. They kind of try to like suppress certain histories, So yeah, we was the first black, republic, first free country, black free country in the Western Hemisphere at the time, and inspired tons of slave revolts. But I'm getting off topic. So like I said, try to make a long story short, but ended up being a short story long. So, just learning about that and just learning about Africa and be like, man, we come from this big, it just looked different on the map. I'm like, we just come from here I'm like, I want to go here one day. I want to visit. I want to come back someday. So even though as time went on, like, you know how the media is. The media portrays Africa as being like this place that just don't have anything good going for itself. Like the children are hungry. Like they used to love showing those, and that actually inspired me even more to come here. When they would show like cause I remember, man, I was a young child, but them commercials like literally used to like break my heart. I used to be so sad watching those commercials. I used to run the commercial, starving kids in Africa, they had the big bellies and the flies on their face. And anyways, y'all, I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I got a young one, and I don't know why. As soon as I start trying to do this, this video, all of a sudden, she want to run up in here. You know what I mean? Like, as soon as she never came here the whole day I was in here. As soon as she heard me talking, she's running up in here. She's trying to get some cameo time. She wanted to jump on camera, but she got to chill. Wait your turn, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I might run you like a little, baby tube channel, a baby version of, you know what I'm saying, Black American babies in South Africa, and they can talk to other babies and give them their point of view. Anyhow, where was I? So yeah, so they used to run these ads, you know what I mean? They used to run these ads of children, pot bellies, flies on their face, and I used to like be pissed off, and I used to be sad. Like I used to skip those channels. Like I didn't want to watch them because, you know what I'm saying? Like I see them, I see me. They're like a reflection of me. They look just like me. I know what happened to us. I know where we came from. So I used to always be like, when I get older, I want to go to Africa because I want to make a difference. You know what I mean? Like I want to be one of those people that, that want to make a difference. I don't care what the media is saying. I don't care how much the media is trying to discourage us from going out there. And even some of our people, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have a bad habit of even making jokes against each other. People used to make jokes, like, our own people used to make jokes about Africans. People used to make jokes about Haitians, like where I'm from. People used to make jokes about just us in general, just me in general, like, our skin tone, our skin color, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you used to hear those type of things, like, oh, the dark skin jokes and, the dark skin comments, you know what I'm saying? So, like, those things, didn't really discourage me from going. Like, I always wanted to go. Like, I'm gonna go to Africa one day. Like, I want to see the motherland. I want to see where we come from, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the motherland, you know what I'm saying? Like, why shouldn't we want to see it? Like, why should we have to listen to other people that's telling us, you know what I'm saying, like, not to go? Hold on, let me close this door. She keeps trying to open this door. So, I'm always like, like, I want to see it for myself. I want to explore it. It's a big land. I'm pretty sure it's beautiful and massive. I'm pretty sure, you know what I'm saying, it's not what they make it, like, hungry kids, war, famine, disease. Like, it can't be all that bad, you know what I mean? But that's what used to be pumped out into Western media, so we don't really see what was going on back home. And what was going on in Africa, Western media was pumping that America was like this beautiful land, milk and honey opportunity, like this is where you want to come, you know what I'm saying, to build your life and get paid, so that American dream was pushed around. So this is when this is really the first incident. It started from a long time, and a lot of people get shocked when I say that, like you knew from when you was young that you wanted to come to Africa? I'm like, yeah. A lot of people get shocked, like, you know what I mean? Like, man, for real? I'm like, yeah. So, so what began to increase it as I, got older and I'll say in my 20s, I went on a spiritual journey, finding, myself, who was I? And, around in my spiritual journey, I started to study a lot about history, and I became more disgusted with what, the powers that be did to our people. So, I became more and more disgusted, and morally, because I grew up in the '90s. I grew up in New York City. I moved around New York, moved around the United States. So I grew up in the '90s. So, y'all hear that? Yeah, I was trying to keep the windows open to kind of get some air, but all of a sudden it's like you got babies barging in, you got alarms going off, all of a sudden you all types of things. So, I grew up in the I grew up in the US in the '90s, and I saw the transition from the '90s into the 2000s, and I saw how, and when I began to become more aware of myself and who I was, and my morality, my moral standards went up. But as it was going up, I started to notice the moral standard of the United States began to plummet, and this kind of began, and this became one of the main factors of why I wanted to leave. Because after I gained the knowledge of self and gained the knowledge of what the United States was doing to people all across the world, including our people, and not just the United States and its allies, the NATO countries, you know what I mean? And how I seen how our people are affected to this day by, the works of, the United States and NATO and the European countries, how it affect my people psychologically. That began to really bother me. And then around 2015 and so on, 13, 14, 15 and so on, there was like a strain of murders that was happening where black men was being killed by police officers and gunned down in the street. It was, on camera, broad daylight, and, they wouldn't do no time, they wouldn't get arrested, or they might get fired and then get a job somewhere else. So psychologically, a lot of things psychologically began to take a toll on Black America as a whole. I mean, we're already suffering from gang violence, gun violence, fatherless homes, diseases from poor health care, discrimination, racism, discrimination in workplace, discrimination in when it comes to getting loans and banks and stuff. So we're already mentally, we're already going through a whole lot in America. People don't even understand. Like, most people see celebrities and see people living in cars and driving around nice cars, living in nice homes. But that's just the surface stuff. That's when people say, the grass is greener on the other side. It's like, you live in here, but you see somebody, your neighbor, he's pulling up to his big old mansion. He got a gate, and, he got a nice car, maybe a Ferrari, and you're like, dang, life, for him must be good, but you don't know, like, he might want to just commit suicide. And this is where a lot of our celebrities in America are. Like, a lot of them, or a lot of people, like, they'll talk about their mental health, how they want to commit suicide. But they're celebrities, and a lot of people think life should be all good, but it's not. And that's how it is in America. The things that they was doing in the media, I believe they was doing it deliberately to psychologically damage our people by constantly showing us Black people getting gunned down and killed on camera. Like, what kind of country would do something like that? Like, Like, it was only us. It was nobody else that would get shot and killed by the police on camera, and they would show it for the whole world to see. And it will happen over and over and over again. And psychologically, it began to take a toll on us, And it began to take a toll on me because I was tired of seeing it. I was tired of feeling like this country was disrespecting me and my people in our image. despite everything we've done, they keep killing our image over and over and over again. And I grown sick and tired of it. Like, I was sick of it. That and so many things they pushed on us through the hip hop media. Like, meaning hip hop culture was hijacked and also began to be used as a tool to divide us and to destroy us. So, I mean, I could go on and on all day about different things that America has been doing to us as Black people over there that people had no idea. You know what I mean? From mass incarceration, I mean, just locking brothers up for nothing, planting drugs on them, locking them up, sending them to jail, just so these jails could generate more money, because more prisoners equals more money. I mean, the racial profiling, and then if you're in a bad neighborhood, you gotta worry about people that look like you know what I mean? Because like I said, the hip hop culture was hijacked. It was a political movement, a political rap, but certain people hijacked it because they didn't like the political rap stuff, and what they ended up doing was they ended up pushing gangster rap on us in the medias and in the airwaves, and they funded gangster rap to become what it is, to further damage us more. So there's a lot of things that's been happening to us out there. So the straw that actually broke the camel's back, I'm gonna tell you the straw that broke the camel's back, when I was like, I gotta make a change in my life for myself and for my future and for my future generation, my seeds, you know, my children. I only got one child, but I wanna have more. So the straw that broke the camel's back was the George Floyd situation. When George Floyd got killed by that police officer on camera, I mean, that tore me up. Like, that was like the point, that was like my breaking point. I was like, I'm no longer gonna stay in this country, you know, for much longer. And I meditated on it. I meditated, and you know, I communicated with the higher power, higher source, and I felt like that higher power, higher source, like, I knew that the higher power, higher source was telling me, because I was like, you know, what do we do? Like, as a people, we're here, we're getting humiliated, and we contribute so much to the development. We contribute everything to the development of this country. So what do we do as a people? And I felt that source tell me, you know, like, let's go. Like, it's exit. It's like, it's time to go back home. It's time to go back home. So Africa was pulling to my heart even more. You know, I felt like my ancestors was pulling me back. Like, yeah, it's time to go back home. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this place is about to reap what it's sown throughout the whole world, and that's why you see so much things happening with America right now, because it's getting ready to reap what it's sown, and our people gotta look towards the future, and that future is Africa. And so I started doing more and more research on Africa, and I began to open my eyes, you know, like how I see how much China was coming here doing business, and Asians was coming here, and even Europeans was coming here, Indians was coming. I'm like, man, everybody's going back to Africa, you know, doing business, except for, you know what I'm saying, his children. So I'm like, man, I gotta be one of the ones to get back and spark the motivation. So definitely the YouTube vloggers definitely helped, like, along the way, because, you know, around 2019 or so, around 2019, you know, I had got married. You know what I'm saying? And me and my wife, we actually sat down and we was just surfing through like videos. Because when I first came into her with the idea, like after the whole George Floyd thing and the pandemic was around that time, I began to be like, damn, what's going on in the world, right? So when I came to her with the idea, I told her, I'm like, look, you know, something I want to tell you. She's like, what? I'm like, we gotta leave it, and like, we gotta move to Africa. She looked at me like I was crazy. She was like, Africa? Like, well, you know, what's out there? Like, you know, cause she didn't really know. So I had to go through a transition of educating her about the land, educating her about what's happening in America, educating her about what so many great writings, because I used to research a lot and read a lot about, prophecies from different tribes, different nations, the Bible and all that stuff was supposed to happen in America in these end times. So, so I started enlightening her, and she kind of I've been, enlightening her about different things along the way. And she was just like, kind of like, kind of heartbroken at first, but she's beginning to see what she already saw what was going on. So she wasn't really sure. She was like, I gotta think about it. And then, she went and we actually sat down together, and then we started to watch vlogs. And then when the Woden Myers and the Gold Blacks and the everybody, like people in South Africa, like Ashley Meads, we was watching Assad, we was watching, we wasn't just watching, at first we wasn't even watching like South African vlogs. We was mostly watching like West Africa. That's the first place I was looking first. I was looking at Ghana first, Gambia. South Africa wasn't even on my list. Like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, like South Africa was not on my list. And the reason why South Africa was not on my list, because I kind of knew about the history of apartheid and the racism that was still going on in South Africa. So I was like, man, I do not want to leave this, going through racism, and then come to South Africa and have to see it again and deal with it again. So South Africa was not on my list. I was looking at Ghana, I was looking at Gambia, and I was looking at Tanzania, doing my research, and she was watching these vlogs with me, and she started to see like the land, and her eyes was like, and then I had went to Congo in 2021 and actually took a trip. My first trip to Africa was in Congo. That's a different story. I don't want to go into it because, like I said, short stories may turn long, right? So I actually went into Congo. I actually, got a chance to go into Congo, Brazzaville, and I actually went into the DRC. And a lot of people were shocked, like, oh, you ended up in the Congo? I was like, yeah, I ended up in the Congo, like deep in the Congo. So, I went to the Congos, that was my first experience. I came back, it was, it was beautiful, I loved it. Like, I actually got a chance to feel the land out, like to feel what can I expect when I come back. But South Africa was still not on my list, not on my radar, because I'm like, I don't really want to go deal with it. No place I gotta deal with the same things I've been dealing here. But when the ancestors, or your spirit guides, the Most High, when they already got it figured out, you just roll with the punches. So how we ended up coming to South Africa, my wife was like, what about South Africa? That's actually the first place she mentioned. I'm like, South Africa? I'm like, nah, I'd be like, chill. Like, nah, South Africa, like, nah. But she's like, they got some beautiful homes. And I'm like, I know, I seen pictures, and, I watched a couple vlogs, it's beautiful, but I don't know about South Africa. So I'm looking at like everywhere around South Africa, but South Africa. But after doing research on like visa, because I was doing research in all these countries, like visa, future plans, GPD, job growth, business opportunities. So I was looking into a lot of these different countries, and somehow I kept running into like dead ends, like dead end. So I'm like, man, I just want to get out of it. I'm like, if I could just get in the land, it'll be cool. So I'm like, all right, let me actually really start looking at South Africa. So that's when I started looking at, some South African vlogs, and I was like, okay, all right, South Africa, okay, Joburg, okay, I see you, Cape Town, okay. I see you, Durban, I see you. One of the videos that really did it for me was like Woden Meyer. Woden Meyer did a video in Durban, and I was like, that's Durban? Like, whoa, like, that's beautiful. Like, we don't really got too many places like that in the States. Like, you gotta go to like Florida, Miami, or Los Angeles. Like, there ain't too many places like that, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, like, Durban like kind of really like did it for me. Like I thought I was gonna move to Durban. Like when I first got out here, I thought I was gonna be in Durban. So I'm like, yo, one mind did the video, and I'm like, yo, I gotta go check this place out. I gotta go visit. So anyhow, so I started to get intrigued. So I started doing my research, and I started realizing like it was actually a lot more lenient coming here, because like I didn't have to do a visa to come in here to tour. I could just fly right in. I didn't have to get yellow fever vaccine. I didn't have to get, you know, all these other vaccines. A lot of countries, you know, require you to get to come in. So I was like, man, it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying, pretty lenient for me to come in, and not just me, my family. And so what ended up happening is, you know what I'm saying, like, I didn't think I was gonna come here this fast, you know, to like, cause I'm currently like in a situation where I'm still touring, you know what I'm saying. I didn't think I was gonna come here this fast. So what ended up happening is, you know, me and my wife, you know, my family, like we got together and we made a decision, like, okay, like, yo, South Africa is probably where we gonna go. And we just gonna go there, like we just gonna come. And basically that's what happened. We just came through. We sold everything that we can. We put stuff in storage. You know what I'm saying? We still got family and stuff back home, and like, you know, so we've been telling everybody like, yo, we gonna bounce. And people like, what, out there? And that's part of the reason why I started this channel, because this video is so long. I'm gonna probably do a part 2. So that's part of the reason why I started this channel, because when I was coming here, everybody was like, yo, start a channel, start a vlog. Like, I'm so happy that you actually going. Like, I didn't know how much people had an interest in coming here to visit. I didn't know how much people, I kind of knew, but I didn't really know how much people actually want to leave the US and actually transition to Africa. So everybody was like, yo, start a channel, start a vlog, da-da-da. And I was like a little hesitant at first, like, I don't really know if I want to do that yet. Like, I kind of just want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, get out there, go out there and just chill. But everybody like, yo, just document your journey. So when so much people tell you to, you know, do something, I'm like, all right, maybe I should probably be doing this, all right? So, and that's basically what, you know, landed us here in South Africa. That's how we ended up coming here, you know what I'm saying? And cool, man. So like, it's been kind of like 22 minutes. I don't want it to be too long of a video, so I'm gonna break it up. So watch out for part 2. Peace.